Intuitive viewers, how's it going? So, if you guys are doing well, I wanted to just kind of jump on and give you a few things that I've been getting that I wanted to share with you. So, first of all, and mainly so you don't worry. That's the big thing. I don't want you to worry because it's kind of confusing what we're hearing. We're hearing some, way too many Republicans kind of backing up Trump, and we're hearing some backing up a little bit. And, then we've got him out there parading around and acting like everything's great and all this stuff. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, and I wanted to give you some things that I've been picking up. And like I said, mainly it's just so you don't worry or, and just kind of a reminder about something that I was told and shared with you. I think it was in my year predictions, for the year predictions. And what that was that, and then I'll get to the more recent stuff, but what that was that that this year we could follow things day to day, but if we do, it's going to be a roller coaster, and we're going to be kind of getting whiplash, and kind of it's going to take us on a ride, basically, because the day to day there'll be wins and losses, there'll be good things and bad things, there'll be challenges and positive things that happen. The main thing to remember is that this year, justice is going to be flowing through it. It's basically the time for things to come out, for the truth to come out, for us to know the truth. Things are unable to be buried anymore. Things like that. All those energies are kind of popping up right now. And so that's the way the flow of things are going. We're going to know the truth. People are going to be held accountable. People are going to go to jail, as we've already seen with, the leaders of the Proud Boys, the leaders of, the Oath Keepers, stuff like that. Everything's being served up, and people are going to jail, and people are kind of serving their time, and people are suffering consequences of their decisions, of their free will. The free will that they use to make decisions, they can use for positive decisions and negative, for good and bad. It can be used for, whatever flow of energy we'd like to use it. So that's what's happening. And so it's just a reminder that, dip your toe in. If you want to keep your sanity, dip your toe in, know what's going on, but don't feel like you have to be immersed in it, because it is a soap opera. And like soap operas, you can be really drawn in day to day and go through every single little bump that comes along, or you can just dip in every month and see what's going on, or every week and see what's going on, and kind of keep your distance from it while staying alert to what's happening, and maybe what you need to pray for, or what you need to send money to, or who you need to support, or how you need to vote. Things like that are all very important, but it doesn't mean we have to immerse ourselves in it every single day and be dragged along on this kind of, roller coaster that Trump and people around him seem to love. They seem to love that just being in chaos all the time makes them feel alive. So, and we've seen that with him before, when I've looked at him before, that there's something in it that he's definitely getting from it. Even though the rest of us would be, sick to our stomachs thinking about the DOJ coming after this is the kind of stuff that makes him feel like he's living, sad. But so you've got these mixed things coming out right now about, Trump acting like everything's great, and he's going to Cuban restaurants, and, he's, whatever, he's doing what he does. And, people saying, oh, the guy who is the co-defendant, he's his valet. He'll never flip. He's right there with them. They're going to talk about this all the time. Well, what I want to tell you is that what I'm getting is that he's eventually going to flip. And I don't know how far along in this process it will be. It could be the last minute. It could be the last minute, knowing, that he is going to go down. He make some kind of deal. But I do get him being on the opposite side of Trump. The other thing about this judge that I want you to know is that whenever I ask about that, all my guides are giving me is a picture of Jack sitting at a desk with all of these papers in front of him. And he keeps like shoring them up and kind of making sure they're straight. They have a plan. They have a plan in place for this judge. They have a plan in place for what happens if this goes awry in Miami. And I don't know the ins and outs of it, and I may not understand right now what the ins and outs of it are, because I don't know every possibility of what could happen, but I feel like they do. And with every little decision, they're going to be making their own decisions as to how to handle it and what to do. But one thing that came through about him, about Jack Smith, in the very, very beginning, is that he's fast and he's extremely thorough. He's very fast. He's thorough. He's also not scared. He's not scared to do stuff. He's not scared to lose. If he feels like there's enough and he can make a case, he'll bring it, whether he thinks it's absolutely 100% sure. If it's 97% there, he will bring it. He's not like Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland's a little more conservative that way. At least that's what I was picking up. But he is not. He's kind of he has a lot of faith in the system, and particularly in the jury system, grand jury system and the jury system. He has a lot of faith in it. And so often, and with that, one of a spiritual principle that comes up a lot when we're teaching is the fact that when you have faith and trust, it comes back in some form. So when you have that faith and trust, it's almost like you're opening a door. And I'm not talking about, just blind faith all the time. It's that kind of a deeper kind of willingness to surrender and trust in that way, kind of hand it over. We've heard people talk about those kinds of moments in their life when they did not know what to do, and so they just turned it over. And it's in those moments and in that kind of deep trust, deep faith that somebody or something is going to catch you. Those are the times that miraculous things happen. And that's the kind of faith and trust that he has in the jury system. It's almost like it's part of his core. And I think it's because he's seen it work time and time again. Even against odds, he's seen it work time and time again. So there is a tremendous faith there in this system. And I feel like one of either his personal purpose that he has or one of his life purposes is to show other people that. And so when he's putting a case on display, it's almost like it has right away, it has like a bigger meaning because it's showing people something. It's showing people, look how this works. Look how justice does prevail. And we're talking about cases where, like a war criminal or something, where people are really looking to this and thinking, will this person ever be held accountable because they've gotten away with everything? And that's when it's like, look at how this works. And this is one of those times. And so he's basically showing his faith and hoping that it will build our faith in the system. Okay. So that's something that I picked up about this whole thing. And because again and again and again, it's come up that we're meant to see this. We're meant to witness this. We're meant to watch this. This is something we're all meant to see happen. And the world is meant to see happen. It's some kind of turn of the corner for the United States. There's something about it that's very built in as and I mean like Trump and this whole mess kind of being resolved through the courts and through justice, that there's something about it that feels like the United States in some way turns a corner and we're in a different place when all of this is over. And I think some of this, clearly has to do with the Republican Party. They've gone off I don't know what, the deep end, off the rails. Whatever has happened to them has happened. And there's a deep, deep, like cynical, corrupt, kind of cruel nature right now, in that, not in every person, but in that party. And so that's going to get squeezed, and changed. And as a country will be changed as well. So this is going to be a very it's going to be a very, I'm getting images as I'm talking, kind of up and down roller coaster time. And we just have to kind of buckle up and know that this is going somewhere, especially now. It's like, yes, now this is where we're going. And this is what we've kind of been waiting for, and kind of knowing we'd always reach this point. But through this point, people will be taking it in different ways. And so that's the roller coaster part. How the media reacts, how Trump people react, how everybody's going to be reacting to this and making choices and that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we need to be, just alert, and also kind of go with the flow. Know that it's gonna ebb and flow and change as we go. But being aware of that may help you at certain moments where you think, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to pull back and kind of chill out with this for a little bit. So that's that. Okay. But I keep getting something about Mike Flynn when this comes up. I've gotten that from the beginning with these. I always get it when they talk about the documents, but I think it may have something to do with national security. And so that's why it keeps coming up. He may be related to the documents. He may have something to do with it. We have yet to understand, but he does keep coming up for me. So I do wonder if at some point charges are kind of imminent for him, or they're going to be, or they're looking at him right now, or there's something coming up with him, because I keep getting him. The other thing that I'm getting is people cooperating in the background. And that's what I wanted to kind of talk about, was the background being cooperative and giving up information. Two people that come up with this are Lindsey Graham and Rudy Giuliani. It's interesting because I know that, both of them are playing like they are just outraged in the public sphere, but I'm getting that behind the scenes, they're telling what they know. They're giving up what they know. So, and I'm also getting a lot of people that have yet to be charged. So I feel like this is moving along now at a fast clip. And it reminds me a little bit of when I talked about kind of time speeding up, or there's something about time speeding up. And part of it is we need to get our ducks in a row to kind of work together as a world, helping the earth. That's where a lot of this is pushing us towards, pushing us to learn to share, to learn to work together, to learn to put things aside, to come together, to do bigger things. And unfortunately, a lot of times we learn through crisis. We learn through periods of crisis. We did have a big vibrational shift during COVID. We did. And it continues. And part of what that vibrational shift helped with was things coming to people, and basically justice being served, justice coming up, and also uncovering things. And that's going to continue. That kind of like nothing can be hidden. Nothing can be put under the rug anymore. It's all coming out. There's that feeling as well, or that energy of like just things being pushed to the surface. And for us at the surface, it's going to be overwhelming at times, thinking, what can we possibly do? What else can we possibly do? But we have a lot of stuff coming out now that has been going on forever, but for some reason, it's coming out now. The stuff with the Supreme Court is coming out now. You know, these kind of people in having to do with the drug trade or sex trafficking, or all of these kind of things that were kind of under the surface. They're all just springing up. And we've been going through this kind of unearthing phase for years now. And it's kind of crossing now with us dealing with what we're learning. So we're almost to this next phase where we're kind of putting the pieces in place to deal with everything. And then comes the repairing of what was done, moving forward and changing laws, making things happen in that way, so that we don't go across, we don't do this again or have this happen again. And then we have this other part where these old energies are coming up, these old like Nazi energies, these old kind of more authoritarian, and that kind of those things coming up as well, because they were still there. And we kind of thought, oh, we've had, that was old World War II stuff. Well, it's still there. And it's time to lay these things out, let us see them, and let us deal with them. And so that will be happening as well. So it's a big movement time for the earth, but for the United States in particular. Western countries in particular. I just heard Western countries in particular. So there's just a big shift going on. And dipping in every day will exhaust you. And so part of the message today was just to remember to kind of dip in and dip out, and really, really move into self-care, because we need your lights shining. We need you kind of spreading that love and kindness and understanding while this stuff is moving forward in the background. So I think I'm gonna stop there. But I did just want to bring up, I keep getting stuff with Mike Flynn. I just want to bring that out. And also this stuff with this judge, that they have a plan in place, and that every time, like I said, that image of Jack, like prepare, like having his papers ready, and it's like they're ready to go. Whatever you say, I'm just, all I'm doing now is just keeping them in a pile, because I know what may be coming, and we're ready. So, have trust, have faith in the system, and also in Jack. I think he's worthy of having faith in, I think, and we'll just move forward together. Okay, guys. All right. So I just wanted to give you that quick message, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow night on Debbie's channel. I'll be with Debbie and Linda, and we'll be talking about all this stuff. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up, and just something that might help. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.